with you today, and this is actually probably a good segue. I got a good segue here. This fellow you see on the picture here, he is famous. He was Time Magazine's Person of the Century back in 2000, 2001, whatever that was. And there's good reason for that. Einstein is not typical. He had an ability to think, sit basically in a room and reason out conclusions that were not obvious to other people. Light, and you talked about Einstein's fascination with light, that is exactly what got Einstein going. And you know, we've heard of relativity. The thing that really got Einstein going was thinking about light and thinking about electromagnetism. His compass and light, they don't seem like the same thing, but they are at root. But he was able to sit basically in an empty room in a chair and reason some things out. And that reasoning took place over a number of years, and by the time 1915 came, he had published what's known as a general theory of relativity. Which is, we talk about, you've heard about curved space-time, wormholes, and all this kind of stuff. This all comes out of the general theory of relativity. It says all kinds of things that don't make sense intuitively to us. Like if you have a clock that's close to the surface of the Earth, it will run more slowly than a clock that's far away from the Earth or any gravitational field. It says things like distances that we think of as being constant, the same for everybody, and variable are not invariable. So the distance from here to Atlanta is so many hundreds of miles. Yes, that's true, unless it's not. There are other ways of measuring distances that give different answers. And so the answer to the question, how far is it from Atlanta to Chicago, depends on what's called your reference frame. And every answer is equally appropriate. That's where the term relativity comes from. But the one thing that is not relative is the speed of light, and Andy got to that earlier on. But Einstein started thinking about light. He started thinking about this. He came up with this general theory of relativity in 1915. And at this point, it was just a good idea. It was mathematically worked out. It was fully consistent with Newton's gravity. It was, there was nothing wrong with it, but it had not yet been tested. And so in 1915, Einstein sat down and, having completed his theory, worked out some consequences of it. So he's got his theory. It's a mathematical theory. And he's going to work the consequences out. And so he does this. And the planet Mercury is closer to the sun, you know this. And there's something weird about its orbit. In 1915, this was known. Now, Mercury's orbit is quite elliptical, oval-shaped. Okay? But all planets have oval-shaped orbits. But Mercury is particularly oval-shaped, and also that oval doesn't stay in the same place in space. As time goes on, that oval sort of precesses around the sun, making sort of a spirograph shape over years. And Newton's theory predicted some of this precession, this motion we call precession of Mercury, but there was a little bit left over. It didn't quite account for all of it. And this has been known for decades at this time, in 1915. Einstein knew this. And so he sat down and worked out the consequences of his theory, and his theory predicted exactly the right value of the precession of Mercury's orbit. And this, he said, was the happiest moment of his life. Because something deep in him, the logic with which he was able to approach the world, connected through mathematics to this weird effect of Mercury's orbit that had stumped astronomers for centuries. Well, not centuries, they didn't know about it for centuries, for decades. And so he knew at that point that he had good supporting evidence for his theory. And of course, ever since then, all the evidence we have is in favor of general relativity, and there is none against it. But most science doesn't work that way. Most science doesn't spring, as it did in Einstein's case, out of pure thought. Einstein, you wait 500 more years for another one now. You really have to wait that long for somebody like him to come around. Most science is different. most science works not quite in such spectacular fashion. Now we live, for better or for worse, in a golden age of conspiracy theories. Have you noticed this? You know, our own commander-in-chief with his idea about Obama being not an American citizen. Right, that's a conspiracy theory. The idea being that there's something secret going on that's not being shared with us that everybody needs to get in on. There's other conspiracies also, the whole moon landing hoax. Right, people think, no, we couldn't possibly. I'm not sure what motivates this. Why anybody would be better off if we had, I don't know what the motivator is, except for this sense that there's all kinds of spooky stuff happening everywhere, and we just don't know about it. Life is not what we think. You know, the 9/11 truthers. And the one though that this might just be completely my own imagination, but it seems like the flat Earth theory is like getting a comeback. And I haven't seen any articles about this. I've seen no studies on it, but it seems like it's popping up more often than you would really expect it to pop up. The idea that the Earth is actually flat. And of course, one of the great things about the internet is that whatever you believe, you can find people at the same time, and you can get together. And most YouTube videos about flat Earth or arguments that you find online are really, they just don't take much effort to see exactly where they fell off the beam. But I found a video last week. I'm not going to show it to you, but it's on YouTube. And it took me a while. It took me about 30 minutes of really actually thinking about this to figure out exactly why this guy was wrong. Flat Earth. Can you imagine people spending time and money insisting that the Earth is flat? Again, I don't know what benefit there would be to this. But the truth of the matter is that we've known that the Earth is flat since at least the time of Aristotle. I mean, the Earth isn't that flat. Wow. Yeah, I'm one of them. No, it was since the time of Aristotle that we have pretty much known without a whole lot of wiggle room that the Earth is actually round, it's spherical. And so all these things you hear about people believing the Earth was flat, 500 years ago or whatever. Some people have always thought the Earth was flat. But humanity in general has known it's spherical since at least the 3rd century before Christ. So it's an old idea. But the question is this. The question I want to ask you is, how could you convince somebody or yourself that the Earth is round without living in the modern age, when we have pictures of the Earth from space? So suppose you were bound to the Earth's surface, and you had to convince somebody that the Earth was round, the Earth was spherical. That wouldn't be so easy to do. There's not a whole lot of evidence from your everyday life that's not related to the modern world. Like, so let's put ourselves back 500 years, or thousands of the time of Aristotle. Let's just go back to there. How would you provide evidence that the Earth is round? This is what science does. It turns out there are clues. And you can determine the Earth is round without leaving the surface of the Earth just by looking around the world carefully at the clues that are out there. Now, these are all observations that we can make. So I got this here. Here we go. Number one, I've got 3 observations that you and I can all make, and that Aristotle was conscious of. Okay, number one, now this is a cargo ship here. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to go back. Okay, this is a cargo ship. The hull is under the water. And so you're seeing just the parts of the ship that are not hidden by the horizon. So as you go away, the Earth curves way down, and so we can't see the whole ship. The whole hull, H-U-L-L, of the ship is back behind the horizon. This is one simple observation that you can make. Now, this also happens no matter which direction the ship goes. No matter which direction the ship goes, you see the same effect. So the Earth is curved down and away in every direction. It doesn't prove that it's round, that it's spherical. It could be egg-shaped. It could be at the point on the top of the egg, the small point of the egg. But it's evidence that the Earth is not flat. And you can make this observation yourself. Second one is that this is looking north. You have a horizon here. Up at the top of there you have Polaris circle around it. That's known as the North Star. The nice thing about this star is as all the other stars change and move, it stays put. But if you walk north, that star gets higher and higher above the horizon at a very regular rate. If we walk north from here up into Canada, we would see, quite obviously, after you walk 60, 100 miles or so, you would be able to tell that the North Star is higher in the sky. If you walk south, you'll see that it falls lower in the sky. This also is evidence that the Earth's surface is curved. Okay. The third one is this. Lunar eclipses happen quite regularly. Had one earlier here. Lunar eclipses happen pretty often, and the shadow of the Earth on the moon is always round. That circle there indicates to you the shadow of the Earth, and what you have here. Oops. I'll get this right one day. There we go. There you can see the moon, and this is the edge of the shadow of the Earth, which is round. And the Earth's shadow is round no matter what direction the moon is when it's being eclipsed. And the only object that always casts a circular shadow is a sphere. And so I have these three observations, and this is how scientists think. You have three observations. None of them depend on each other. They're all independent. Okay? You could imagine having a round shadow but not having ships disappear over the edge of the horizon the way they do. All these observations point to the same conclusion, although they don't depend on each other. Now, you can imagine a weird world. You can imagine that shadows work differently than we think, or that stars work differently than we think they do. And you can concoct a very complicated, very contrived, with lots of strange parts sort of added together, a theory that could describe all of this, okay, without Earth being round, spherical. Or you can just say, okay, the Earth is spherical, therefore all these things have very natural explanations. So we have a scientific theory. The Earth is round. That's a scientific theory. And it's supported by these different observations. Okay? And so the point is that scientific theories are believed not because there's one argument or one bit of evidence or one clue, but because there's multiple different clues all point to the same conclusion. That's the idea. Now, that our Earth being spherical we wouldn't really call it a theory anymore. We would call it, we just know that it's true. Although the term theory in science is a very elevated term. Sometimes people talk about evolution being just a theory. But the truth is, within scientific language, a theory is the highest level of status that an idea can have. Okay, so it's the atomic theory, for example, it's still called the atomic theory. The theory of evolution, the theory of Newton's theory of gravity, the theory of relativity. These are all not just theories in the sense that we're just sort of doing our best to guess at them. That is the most vaunted level of status that an idea can have within science. But of course, we've got to a point now where we can actually see the Earth from space, and it is in fact, yes, round. Okay. Now, this is a sort of a trivial example of a scientific theory, but it points to how scientists work. What we're looking for is a single explanation. The Earth is round that accounts for all these different observations. We want an efficient explanation. The Earth is round is the simplest thing we can have in this case. Now, there are other theories out there which work the same way. They have different lines of evidence supporting them. And one of those is the Big Bang Theory. Or not the television show, right? But the Big Bang, the scientific theory, which says approximately 13.8 billion years ago, give or take a couple hundred million years. Actually, give or take less than that. It's pretty well pinned down at this point. Everything we know stuff, space, time, came into existence in an instant. Okay, that's the theory. That's basically the theory. But why do we think that's true? There are other competing theories out there, have been over the centuries. Well, the first bit of evidence that we have is that all distant galaxies are moving away from us. No matter what direction we look. Now, this picture here, there's a few stars here. There's a star there, see little spikes on it. And I don't want to get this laser. Yes. That's a star, that's a star. These objects with little spikes are stars. Those are stars within our own galaxy, and they're like in the extreme foreground, like bugs on a windshield. So there's maybe half a dozen, maybe 8 different stars in the picture. All the rest of these objects are entire galaxies that are way, way, way beyond those individual stars. And all those galaxies are moving away from us. And also, the further they are away, the faster they're moving away from us. This was discovered by Hubble in 1930, and it was completely unexpected. It's completely unexpected. So everything's moving away from everything else. Okay, that's the first bit of evidence that this thing we call the Big Bang is true. If we run the movie backwards, right, it all comes back down to a point. If we run the movie backwards. So that was the first suggestion of the Big Bang. But if the Big Bang is true, certain predictions, and there are certain things that also have to be true. So if the Big Bang actually happened, then other things in the universe have to be found, have to be present. The universe has to be a certain way if the Big Bang is true, in ways other than simply all the galaxies moving away from us, or from each other. And one of them is there should be, if A, our physics is right, and if the Big Bang is true, there should be sort of, the universe should be soaked with a certain kind of light, certain kind of radiation. And the name for this is not important, but it's called the cosmic microwave background radiation. And it's got nothing to do with your oven. Actually, that's not true. The word microwave is in there. Microwave is simply a certain wavelength of light. And this is like infrared light. Infrared light is light that we can't see. Ultraviolet light is light where the wavelength is too short for us to see. And microwave light is the kind of light with wavelengths too long for us to see. So this light should be out there. If the Big Bang is right, if our physics is right, there should be this microwave background radiation. Every point in the universe should have this light in it. This room should be drenched in it. Every point in space, you should be able to find this radiation. And we found it. It's there. Okay? Now this picture I'm going to show you is a little weird looking. This is actually the entire sky. The entire sky. So at this point, flash back around at this point, the entire sky is like a ball around the Earth. So you can think of it as that entire ball projected on this picture. But what you see there is evidence of this evidence of the Big Bang. This is what we call the cosmic microwave background radiation. And it was discovered back in the 60s, about 5 or 10 years after it was predicted to exist. So if the Big Bang was true, then there should be this radiation, and there is. Another thing that we found that supports the idea of the Big Bang is this. This is one of my favorite pictures ever. This is what I call the astronomer's periodic table. And it's based on, the format of it is based on the same structure as the periodic table you all saw in chemistry class in high school. But the boxes are scaled to the relative abundance of those elements in the universe. So the universe is mostly entirely hydrogen. This is by mass. Okay, so if you weigh the universe, 74% of that weight would be due to hydrogen. 24% of it would be due to helium. And then the oxygen is the next most abundant, and so forth and so on. And all the ones you don't see are just traces. The Big Bang, if it's true, not only will we expect to see that background radiation, but we expect to see certain relative abundances of these elements. In fact, the Big Bang predicts that we will never see more than about 24% anywhere in the universe of helium and hydrogen. So the relative abundances of these elements in the universe are consistent with and are actually demanded by our theory of the Big Bang. Again, 3 observations. Galaxies are moving away from us. The cosmic microwave background exists, and there's about 3 times the weight of hydrogen compared to helium in the universe. All of these things are independent, they all point to the same conclusion. Okay? This is how scientists actually think. Andy was talking about, the social practice of science, what I might call scientism, the Richard Dawkins sort of triumphalism about, science has disproved everything in the universe but science. But what scientists actually do is stuff like this. We consider theories, we make observations, we look at the clues. All of these 3 points here, the abundances of the elements and the background radiation in the moving galaxies, are just 3 clues that we can find in the universe that all point to the same direction. In the same direction, say the Big Bang occurred. In the same way that the ships, and the stars, and the shadow of the Earth on the Moon all point to the same conclusion: the Earth is round. That doesn't absolutely prove these theories, but until a better one comes along, those are the ones we have. Science always moves tentatively. So that's just a quick glimpse into the sort of thinking that scientists do. This is how we spend our time. Okay. So it's a much more, a narrow approach than sort of global, going outside the boundaries of science, making comments about religion or God or whatever.
And so we want to close and give us a few minutes for discussion. I think what's also really fascinating, and something to take into our ministries, is you see how a scientist thinks. A lot of those big breakthroughs, in some sense, not quite right, but figuring out that the Earth was round, but figuring out that the sun was in the center of our universe, were all people of faith. I mean, Galileo was a huge person of faith. He was building off the work of Johannes Kepler, who was a Lutheran, who was accused of his mother being a witch, but that's a whole other story. And but he came up with these theories of these things, these orbits, and Copernicus and others. These were people of faith. The guy who figures out, who actually does the mathematics, that there is a Big Bang, is an actual Jesuit priest named Wallace. And he's told that this theory is far too religious. It can't be the case. And what science has discovered is actually it. So the point being that the church has funded, the church has supported, and many people within the church have been on the foreground of scientific work. And so I think our young people need to hear that as well.